Oh, hello there. Welcome to Angry Man Reactions with Solo Season. I am Solo Season, aka J Solo, aka Angry Man. So today, guys, if you don't know what we're doing what people love on YouTube, and that's reviews. First off, I want to shout out to Local Buzz here at Four Corners, Texas. So smooth, man. Goes down with a taste of honey. The can, clearly designed for hipsters like myself. It has to have the word local on the can or we can't drink it, you know. So shout out to them. Make sure you guys hit them up at FC Brewing. Four Corners Brewing. Well, what we're doing tonight, guys, is I want to do a review on not only my own song, but also one of my favorite songs and the song that kind of like got me into rap, Jay-Z's Dead Presidents. So my cousin Marquez was the one who showed me Jay-Z's first CD, and I just sat in my Lincoln 86 town car. So I had to play it in my headphones through a CD player with a tape in it. You know, you guys probably don't know nothing about that. Because so here's the thing, this is the thing. So the tape wouldn't play in the audio, right? But it would play if I put the headphones in it. Anyway, it was a whole fiasco, man. I was listening to that thing for hours at a time trying to understand how he could. I've never heard a black dude talk like that. You know what I mean? I was like, what is the fiscal year? What is the poker? You know, I've never heard people talk about poker. He was just really talking to people and spitting game like a pimp would. And it was reminiscent of E40, right? E40 just spit total game to you 100% of the time. Shout out 40 Water, 40 Fonzarelli. And again, recreated himself. Jigga, Hove, you know, this idea of entrepreneurship that those guys have is beyond. So, what we're going to do here, man, is we're going to play a song. Alright, man, so if you guys don't know, Jay-Z, like I said, very influential to what I'm doing. Jay-Z, J. Cole, and here at the Solo Season Universe, we like to game, so I'm going to add my own little flavor to what we got going on here, and we'll see what happens, you know? He was the first one to show off. If you guys know this video, I know this video very well. He was the first one with that Mercedes, ahead of his time, trying to show off a car that wasn't out yet, you know, doing like Wall Street shit, you know, dead presidents. Yo, so off rip, dead presidents. What does that mean? That's such a deep bar, off rip. You're talking about money, clearly, but, you know, makes you even think, like, damn, who was the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth president? You know, who are these people on the bills? It already makes you think, right? And then on top of that, he starts off with something that really, like, really you just got to get a grip before you listen to Jay-Z. You can't just haphazardly go into a Jay-Z song and think like, okay, I'm going to get every little bit of this. Rock, let him know where you from. Shout out my squad as always. Me and my conglomerates, anonymous. Alright, so basically, you know, there's not much more to talk about other than, you know, he's going hard in the paint with his team. The only issue is he's explaining going hard in the paint with his team in such an intricate way. It's almost like a Da Vinci Code version of hustling. You know? It's nice. Like the point guard of your favorite team, without doubt. My life ain't rosy, but I roll with it. My mind was fine to the I ain't even time that. And now it's kosher shit is so acidic. I blow a digit on the diamond in a minute, but no bitches. Blow a diamond, no bitches. Blow a diamond on a minute, but no bitches. Like, not necessarily rhyming everything, but just stitching the story together, stitching the logic of the song together in a way that I don't think a lot of people do. It's not necessarily about riding the track in a way that's going to make people dance. Like Dead Presidents is a song that I respect because it was a time in rap where people were just trying to get their point across in the most artistic way they knew how to do it. You know what I mean? Like politicians, like sometimes I love listening to debates about human culture. That's why I created the Solo Season universe so we could all come together, talk, play some games, and like, you know, figure it out. Let's figure it out. Shit, I'm involved, we got me pins and needles. And my cerebral beast, the wicked is evil. Don't stack this for to feed you. Be back. And the game so deep. Hold on, run that back. This shit is so acidic. I blow a digit on the diamond in a minute, but no bitches. Watch how I'm walking, cause even the thoroughest niggas be knocking, trying to strike a bargain, hoping that they might get parted. Shit, I'm involved, we got me pins and needles. And my cerebral beast, the wicked is evil. Don't stack this for to feed you. Be back. And the game. I know we're talking about 6ix9ine. That happens 20 years later. Come on, man. It's just a really good song. Like, I wish the only thing I could say bad about it is that it's not groovy. You know what I'm saying? This isn't something that people are going to bump in the club. This is not the song that, and that's what people judge it by. You know, Bill Burr was saying some funny stuff about how a guy at a diner was upset, or was talking about something about, anyway, he judged his music on if he could work out to it or not. No. I'm not judging music on that basis alone as how it affects to my life, how it affects the art form, the world around it. How does it affect life? Are you just making it to make girls open their buns? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is that your main goal? Is just sex in the club? Or what? Like, anyway, he clearly has a motive, Jay-Z does, and his motive is to get his point across that hustling is what he does, and this intricate lifestyle that he lives isn't what the movies would let you know. It's not a bunch of guns and drugs and people with no morals and just people, you know, pissing and shit in the streets. Shit, all men, even the highest of guys are pissing around the corner at their best restaurant. So deep things can catch you, freeze off my kneecap, can y'all believe that? Got the city drinking Kush styles, we up the beat, rappers going broke, trying to keep up with me. My rise the riches, surprise the bitches, think harder. You know this nigga, Jay-Z, Sean Carter, GS the fuck. Just the story he's telling. And that's the only thing I can say about him is he's not like giving you Alzheimer's, I said it, I'm addressing all drama. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his own thing. He's doing his own thing. He's not he doesn't sound like anybody else. He's almost a broken rhythm. E40 does it. A lot of people do it. Snoop do it. It's a beautiful thing. Who wouldn't? Pudding. And see how he low-key hit the bar? It wasn't like a bar where it was like, okay, I'm going to hit you with like, it wasn't like a ooh bar. It was like it was, you know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's kind of the sweet spot. I'll watch Dave Chappelle. I'm watching myself play basketball right now. It's crazy. I'm watching Dave Chappelle hit the sweet spot. What I mean by that is like he's telling jokes to make you laugh, to ease you into a life-changing tip. You know what I mean? That's the best way to explain it. A life-changing tip. Like, he's going to try and tell you how it is. in the best way he can. And he's a genius therapist. He understands the human mind. And I just don't, as an artist to artist who has a different paintbrush, I absolutely love it. That was a bomb dunk. You know, Dave Chappelle does a good thing with his paintbrush. And I try to do that with mine. I try to ease people into a life-changing event. I'm trying to advance the human conversation.
You in the streets, nigga, make your moves, get your mail. Niggas are coasting the SL, but can't post bail. Niggas are roast the L, but scared to throw your toast well.
Oh, well.
Tell niggas it ain't all swell, it's heaven. Been in tell niggas. One day you're cruising in your 7, next day you're sweating, forgetting your lies.
Oh, bullshit catching up. The Rico, your vehicle, well, shit was all good just a week ago. Nature, about to start snitching nature. That right there for me was one of the most influential bars. It's like he's storytelling in a way that is reminiscent of broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the floor because they just don't care. You know, it's very reminiscent to the core of what I think it is. The core of it, what I think music and rap is. Ooh. Better start snitching, ain't you? I forgive your weak ass. Ass and ball. Oh, dime. Cat pillars. Gorillas. And see, it's funny too because I like to bring this up all the time. When people talk about white rappers and things coming into the game and like what's off limits, what words are off limits, on limits. Yeah. I understand the whole racial tension behind it now that white people are in the game. The whole thing like, oh, monkey niggas turn gorillas might sound a little, but that in our world, that, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to bring that up for a second. You don't hear Eminem saying stuff like that because he understands the culture, and that's why everybody respects him, because he's been around black people long enough to know it's not a thing where we're being overly aggressive. We're being sensitive, and you're calling it aggression. That is a sensitive subject. And PTSD, you don't know what's happening in people's lives. So to just automatically discredit them and call them crazy, to say that they're overreacting, to say that they're emotional, and to say that they're emotional and not even justify their emotions is already kind of demoralizing as fuck anyway. So, you know, just wanted to bring that up. I love what music has become, rap has become. Everything should be inclusive. I had never thought about a perspective that Tony has given. Shout out Tony Bourne. Planet Tone, dropping soon. I mean, the guy comes up with bars that are like Too Short. He's like the new Too Short. Gross. Amazing. Pimpin'. Get that money. Big beats. And he's just so good at what he does. He lives the lifestyle. So check him out, Planet Tone. Here we go.
And now they're not saying and not playing. That goes without saying. Slaying day in and day out with money playing. Then they play you out.
Oh, money. That's a good day out. That was. Oh, ho, ho. Infinity with presidencies. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about something big, boy. Living in a space, a subtle time space, a subtle place in time space. I'm all in one. I gets it done. That's part one of Solo Leads VT. Big crazy synchronicity, man. It's insane. They're playing Monopoly. Remember in the video they were playing Monopoly? A whole bunch of hustling was going on in the video. Whole bunch of hustling, and then they cut to a scene of everybody who was hustling playing Monopoly. Very astute. Shout out GMBP, man. This is my GMBP shirt. I made it at his house before we went to our last show that we did together. Doesn't mean it's not going to go down again, but I promise you, man, it will. And speaking of that, speaking of GMBP, speaking of everything that went on, we're going to actually go back in time right now and look at the squad acting a fool as we always do, man. See, and even I go back and I think about, were we overdoing it? Were we doing too much? No, we weren't. We were not. We wasn't. Say it how you want to say it. Excuse me. We did it big. We weren't half-assing it. We weren't, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. If you look at the interview with me and Big Homie West, the interview I had with Big Homie West on Let's Talk About It, Warzone's Only Talk Show, episode 6, hashtag answers, hashtag answer, hashtag Big Homie West. Go check him out on Facebook. We talk about it. And some people are afraid to do it. Some people are afraid to wear the diaper. Some people are afraid to wear the diaper. Damn you, DaBaby. What a beautiful, beautiful game plan. Wear a diaper down the street, get famous. He does look like a black Tommy Pickles, though. Anyway. So what we're going to look at, with my dogs, right, is another one I want to look at. Maybe we should do that one too. But what we're going to do is the... oh, man, I forgot how many live shows we have on here. We're going to have to... maybe we'll stick around and do some live shows. Maybe I'll actually go live after this. Yeah. And do a show. All right. We're going to do my very first music video, guys, on Green Mountain Boys production on YouTube. Solo's Freestyle number 2. Alright, it's my very first music video that I've ever done. Shout out Tony Bourne for letting me use his house. Shout out Discount Foods in Rutland for being closed that day. But as I forgot how fast I jumped right into it. Thank you to Buddha. Thank you to John Gould who showed up. And the whole concept, I just remember, was amazing. So I hope you guys go check out the video on Green Mountain Boys production. Solo season freestyle number 2. Solo freestyle number 2 on Green Mountain Boys production.
I look at you like, what your motives, what you holding. See some sucker shit spinning coded, in your head that's swollen. You couldn't go, even though you got the door open. Metaphors on high level shit. We can all smell that desperation.
Okay.
How you living?
So I want to break that down. I don't know if everybody caught that. So I critique myself a lot. It's a long bar. It's a long setup. I'm talking about someone's head being too big. And even though they had the door open for an opportunity, their head was too big and they couldn't fit through the door. You know, my mom used to say that to me all the time, so.
What? How you living? What? Kind of somber when the spotlight has your life in living color. Yeah.
Oh, that was one of my favorite bars. Okay, oops, I should have got ready for that. You guys remember the spotlight on Facebook? That no matter what you do, the spotlight puts you on blast. Right, so, remember that, or at least go check them out. What's your motives?
What you holding? See some sucker shit spinning coded, keeping your head that's swollen. You couldn't go, even though you got the door open. Metaphors on high level shit.
We can all smell that desperation.
How you living? What? How you living? What? Kind of somber when the spotlight has your life in living color.
What?
You can all become victims. So
yeah, you can all become victims. So the Vermont spotlight puts you on blast no matter what you do. Even if you get a driving ticket and the ticket gets it's not even real. Like, even if you just get pulled over, such a shitty website. But long story short, people act up famous people come act out and get put on blast in our tiny little town over there. So I want to shout out that little website for being ridiculous. But the real bar is hidden in the how you living, what, how you living, what.
Those who woes get on high level shit. We can all smell that desperation.
How you living, what?
What? How you living? What? Kinda somber when the spotlight has your life in living color. Yeah.
In living color.
We can all become victims.
So those who
woes get stirred by flows be born. Words exposed, impose pride on conversations about this life. Fuck that, spray the rye. It's do or die. Nobody told you that these evils is real. Now,
really complicated bars that I set up.
How little life means to thee.
Before I go on any further, because I'm gonna pick my own song apart too. This one is like really deep. Like the bars are deep.
Kinda somber when the spotlight has your life in living color.
Yeah, it is. Become victims, so those who woes get shit. So those whose woes get stirred by,
conversations about this life. Fuck, become victims. So those who woes get stirred by flows be born. Words exposed, impose pride on conversations about this life. Fuck that, spray the rye. It's do or die. Nobody told you that these evils is real. Now I'm itching to kill. Cause I can see how little life means to thee. Souls I cherish, for those all will perish. Stay in your lane. I know how men's minds get twisted over a dame. Send you frames of her doing chin-ups on the dick. How you think she got those games?
That was one of my favorite bars. Just to stop it right there. Because I think my lines are pretty self-explanatory. Not the way Jay-Z's are. His are very complicated. Maybe you have to take a second rewind. So those who woes are stirred by flows be warned. Those are... So those... I'm sure you get it. I'm not putting it above people's heads. So those whose woes are stirred by flows be warned. Conversations about this life. But also chin-ups on the dick. How you think she got those gains? New shoes. A bunch of game.
Cause I was born from the cloth. Had to hang with Crips cause the sins of my pops made me a scholar. Take down this pen and write down what damage has been dealt from niggas playing they self or playing with wealth. Keep what you built, but even a dead man will have you dead your mans over these bills.
Even a dead man will have you dead your mans over these bills. So someone dies, you can die for someone that's already dead. It's a very complicated situation out here trying to stay alive, man. A dead man, dead presidents.
Pens and pencil, this that moment I convince you. Demons, heathens, do you even remember when you let that evil seep in? X-ray vision, how I see through people.
That was actually a bar on heroin use.
That moment I convince you. Demons, heathens, do you even remember
when you let that
evil seep in? X-ray vision, how I see through people. New checks coming like who knew? Now I'm screaming mail time like it's Blue's Clues.
Who doesn't love Blue's Clues?
I like
who doesn't love Blue's Clues? This that moment I convince you. Demons, heathens, do you even remember when you let that evil seep in? X-ray vision, how I see through pink dude checks coming like who knew?
Now I'm screaming mail time
like it's Blue's Clues. It's foolproof, bulletproof coupe. I don't love his thinker leaking on his sneakers.
Better let you suffer full of dog than raw dogger in the Dodge. Pause. Information is power. If they only knew we knew their guy drove that Eddie Bauer. Do it at the light in a small town, making this trip round. Potatoes, no sound, gun down. 3 men, you can't leave this car to sit. People will think you're best friends if you pop them up and play pretend.
That's a shout out to Eminem, and pretty much just explaining how to do a hit. At least the way I was explained. Crazy stuff. Small town, driving around, potatoes, no sound. Self-explanatory, I think, right? Yeah. That's why I think sometimes maybe I'm too simple. I always want to be more cryptic. Like, oh, hey, there's a hidden gem under there. But I've also learned that people aren't going to dig. Especially if you're not famous. I'm not famous. So, I'm pouring my soul out as deep as I can. But at the same time, I want to become a commercial artist in a sense. I don't necessarily want to compromise my art to the point where it becomes not mine anymore, but there is part of me that's ready for monetization and what comes with being on that global stage. You know, I'm preparing for it the best I can. You never know when you get there, but I'm hoping for the best.
Guys got shitty, right? Keep it going. Versus Pop still got losers on the block that'll shoot random shots, distracting cops. Hot tamale ops. It gets deep. 100 knots or better. Gucci Gucci if she gives up the coochie. Uchi Wally bang bang. I'm from Walla Walla, Washington. Even
So just really quick though, like, so everybody wants to talk about mumble rap and like, you know, like crazy stuff like that. I know people are gonna overlook that bar. Just like, it was a bunch of gibberish that I made work. Like, come on, listen.
tamale ops. It get your best friends if you bump them up and play.
Eminem.
Guys got shitty, right? Keep it going.
Hi.
Versus Pop still got losers on the block that'll shoot
Random shots, distracting cops. Hot tamale ops. It gets deep.
100 knots or better. Gucci Gucci if she gives up the coochie.
100 knots or better gets deep. 100 knots or better. Come on.
Gucci Wally bang bang. Versus Pop
Coochie
still got losers on
Gucci
the
if she
block
gives
that'll
up the
shoot
coochie
random
Uchi
shots,
Wally.
distracting
It was
cops.
gibberish,
Hot tamale
but it was
ops.
fun.
It gets deep. 100 knots or better.
I think so
Gucci
anyway.
If she gives up the coochie. Uchi Wally bang bang. I'm from Walla Walla, Washington. Even Bugs Bunny caught game. I love big butts.
Yeah, that's our thing.
Nicki Minaj ass.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah. You know, Sir Mix-a-Lot's the first one. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. He's from Washington State, my hometown. And, you know, just let the chorus run through. And it's kind of like everyone knows who does Dead Presidents. When you get on Dead Presidents, you got to give your best, right? So I'm like, you know, I try my damnedest to just say, hey, I'm going to give you my best version of my rap. This is solo rap.
Asian woman says, have a nice day. If she only knew I ordered spare ribs on some racist shit. Bruce Lee saved the joint and left the chick. Big boss, respect that flick. Actions are louder than any written script. It's what you do with it that makes you.
Okay, so my bars, like I said, I usually ease people into liking me, and then I start talking about some, like, I always talk about race relations. I just have to talk about it because I'm mixed. People always don't know. I got called Caribbean today, which was very nice. They shout out to the person that called me Caribbean. But in all essence, it's just a big conversation for me. It's a huge conversation for me. So
Pass the order spare ribs on some racist shit. Bruce Lee saved the
order some spare ribs on some racist shit. So if you guys haven't seen that movie Big Boss, it's just all relative if you've seen the movie in pop culture. I know it's a very niche reference, but order spare ribs on some racist shit. The black dude said, you ain't never heard of Chinese spare ribs? No Chinese spare. Bang, and he hit him in his ribs. They were there to press the restaurant for protection money. So Bruce Lee shows up. Bruce Lee kicks major ass, does what he does, which is the famous scene where he sidekicks the guy into all those boxes against the wall. And Chuck Norris is in that one. That's the one where he rips his chest hair off. So great movie, but he leaves that whole restaurant. He just kicks ass and leaves. He's like, fuck that girl. You know, fuck everybody. I'm out of here. I'm going back to training Kung Fu. So it's just a reference that I felt was, for me, black people sometimes are like the best example of an abused becoming an abuser, which we absolutely, you know, there's rights for that. You have to protect yourself. You would be dumb to not have those prejudices, right? Everyone has prejudices, but when it comes to someone that's right in front of you, you have to make that judgment, that prejudgment, that prejudice. You got to make that prejudice with a gentle hand. And I just thought that was crazy when I watched that movie. And Bruce Lee liked to bring that up a lot. And I just signed my boys up for Kung Fu. And, martial arts is just a big part of my life. So go watch the movie Big Boss. That's basically what that's about.
Joint and left the chick. Big Boss, respect that flick. Actions are louder than any written script. It's what you do with it that makes you lit. Pass the word. Jay Solo killed tracks completely dolo. Gone.
Yeah. And the video is amazing too, man. You guys should really check that. My first piece of artwork. It definitely won't be the last. Thank you to Season Few. Go check it out. Green Mountain Boys production. Got to spell the whole thing out. Green Mountain Boys production. The production is the most important. Solo freestyle number 2. Go watch the video. It's all about basically taking drug dealing and converting that hustle into CDs, selling CDs in a very cool way. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So make sure you go check it out. Shout out Tony Bourne, shout out Blaze, shout out Beat On, shout out T Rich, shout out Wild Kyle, shout out Jibba, shout out Eric Bray, aka Humble Among on YouTube, shout out Big Homie West, shout out VT Hip Hop Collective, shout out Game Streamer, shout out Headass 30 on Instagram with his Warzone clips. Shout out to you, the Season Few. And I'm sure there's a few I missed, but Kamikaze Collectibles online. George Kamikaze. Go get anything really. I need some Silver Surfer comics. Someone tag him. I need some Silver Surfer comics. If you guys have Silver Surfer comics, hit me up, bro. I'm trying to get my collection done. And I usually show off one of my collectibles. So this collectible here is, that's the newspaper. The original newspaper from the original newsstand. So, one day maybe it'll be worth on USA Today. There's plenty of more we'll talk about. But we don't really have to talk about that one, do we? I'll see you guys next time. Angry Man Reactions. Not so angry this time. Haven't been so angry lately. Guys, hit the comment section. Give me something that might make me angry again. You guys love that, right? That's the algorithm loves that. Come on, guys. Piss me off. I dare you. Stay seasoned, y'all. Thank you for coming through. Get those likes up. Get those views up. Shout out Blaze. My boy, man.
See me, you get a paycheck. My first appearance is a paycheck.